Here's one of the things that was the number one thing that people love most in ClickFunnels, and that was the user experience and the user interface. The ability to create funnels, create them quickly, not having to be tech savvy, know any code, etc. The ability to use templates that they already established and gave to you, the ability to leverage other people's share funnels, etc. That's a big reason why I use it, right? The speed of being able to get funnels out, the ease of use, any mom and pop shop can do it, right? It's perfect for the small business owner. You don't have to invest a lot of time, capital, tech, dev team, design team, etc., right? So in the new page editor, they've been actually using it internally for a while. And Todd made a joke that we weren't going to finalize and roll out the new page editor until our lead designer, his name's Jake Leslie, awesome guy, said that I like the new page editor better than the previous one. So because that was one of the things that's like, hey, this is our number one bread and butter, the things that works well, it was probably one of the things that they were like, can we even improve this? And we're definitely going to change it, but is the change we're going to make going to be a beneficial change or a change that, kind of we shoot ourselves in the foot? Where I think all of their changes platform wide, other than this one, definitely it was a no-brainer. It was going to be an improvement. So this is the one that they kind of held back, coveted most. Jake was the big domino because he was the lead designer. Then everyone internally, Russell, etc., they were using it internally for like their funnels before they rolled it out to really validate, flesh it out that they really liked it. So this new page editor is going to be cleaner, even easier to use, great user experience. And that was the number one thing, like I said, that they wanted to make sure that they didn't mess up, because that was the thing that people I think like best about it, is that user experience, ease of use.
So what's different about it now, Jeff?
Well, one thing that's different, it's on the left-hand navigation, you have your different categories for the different new features and new elements. That's one thing that's definitely unique. For example, you can just navigate through the editor a lot easier, because I think primarily, if you're familiar with 1.0, the main thing you're going in there to do is like build funnels. So the only real navigation you're doing is transitioning between the different funnels you have and looking at, some of the analytics within the funnel, and then setting up some of the back-end stuff for the funnel, right? But now, because there's so many new categories that we can dive into in a second, there had to be a more robust navigation. And instead of using like a traditional kind of the navigational categories across the top, they're putting it on the left-hand side, more like what you would see in a membership site. So that's definitely interesting. But I think it's one of those things where just the editor is different. So you're going to have to go in there and kind of get used to it, get more familiar with it.
Are they going to use the whole idea of like using sections, rows, elements?
So here's a big thing, right? A lot of funnels that people would build, especially if you're on you're building funnels for others, is you would need to take a funnel and pretty much copy it into another funnel, then personalize it through like a share funnel, the ability to clone a funnel. But you're still doing that like funnel by funnel, right? So now what's really cool that people are loving is there's section templates. So for example, I could save a header, a footer. Say if like every webinar registration page I want it to be, a headline and a background image and then an opt-in form in one section. I could save that section and pretty much copy it like funnel wide for any webinar funnel I would do. So this is still along the storylines of speeding up the time to get funnels live and not having to duplicate work every single time for people that are doing funnels every single day and making them new.
They had that feature, came out, maybe 3-4 years ago, where you can like save a section and then, and there was in your templates and stuff. They probably just made it faster to be able to do that. I've seen a lot of other page builders have very similar features where you have sections that you put in. I can think of like 3 or 4 right now that kind of do that sort of system. But in terms of when you're just freestyle editing, what I think is very unique about ClickFunnels Editor is they're just the simple formula of you have a section. Your section has a certain amount of rows in it. And inside those rows, you have your elements. Sorry, it's columns, not rows, right? So are they still using that system?
Yeah.
Right. And the other big one was mobile optimization. I think ClickFunnels actually did do a good job on the ability to do mobile optimization, but it was still very manual. And I would love to see them be able to do that more automatic, faster, easier, because you do have to do a lot of adjustments to mobile optimize. So have you seen anything like that with their new page?
Yeah, well, as you know, Google reported probably 5 years ago now that for the first time ever, mobile searches and mobile viewers has surpassed desktop and tablet. So like really over 50% plus of the visitors to your site, to your funnel, are coming in there from your mobile phone. So Russell is even mentioning that they're building funnels now with like a mobile view first. And it's less like width-based sections and more like of this vertical section where they're not stacking as much stuff horizontally as they are vertically to make sure it just flows better for mobile. And I think traditionally you had people who would build these sales pages that are like 30 pages, 50 pages long, I think the probability of the realisticness and the probability of someone scrolling through that length and depth of a page from a phone is a lot less, right? Now you can test short form funnels versus the longer form traditional sales pages. I do think if someone went through some kind of pre-launch sequence and then is on that sales page, they're a lot more warmer, but they're a lot warmer and more likely to scroll. But if it's just cold traffic or just from an ad and or just from a social post, someone scrolling through a 30-page sales page on like a mobile phone, probably not happening as much today.
So what do you think, Jeff, real quick on this one, just because it goes into kind of like sales funnel strategy. What do you think about even like the long form VSLs? Do you think people even have the attention span? Because now if it's on your phone and you're watching it and you cannot do anything else but watch that video, you can't close it and, do something else. So and people's attention span on watching a video is like, 1 to 2 minutes, right? I even wonder about doing a vertical video on mobile, right? Instead of horizontal video, right? Because I highly agree. I've seen competitors that are now coming out, like ClickFunnels competitors, that are focused on building mobile-only sites. It doesn't even do a desktop version of the site; it only does mobile sites, right? So I think mobile optimization is going to be huge. That's why I'm really interested to see the new page builder, because I actually transitioned to other page builders that I found with lifetime deals, right? And I started using those for different projects. And I just found it was just slower to build. Every time I wanted to do it, I was like, this is going to take a while. I was trying to build something in this page builder, and then it was taking me like over an hour. And then I went into ClickFunnels, like no joke, like 10 minutes I was done. And I was just like, wow. And I still have my ClickFunnels account. I'm not actively even using it. I've been paying for it ever since I signed up. I'm not really active on ClickFunnels right now because I've been using, I switched to another platform because I wanted to build my website with it. And so I don't mind just saying it's called Symvoly. It's not a very popular one, right? It's called Symvoly, but it allowed you to build websites and funnels. And that's why I moved everything over there, because I wanted my website there, right? But what's funny is after I did the whole move, I realized their whole blogging aspect on Symvoly was terrible. It was like not usable. And I ended up just building landing pages that look like a blog post. And I would just copy the landing page and I would make my blog post that way. And I realized it was not going to be suitable to do blogging, real blogging, So I kind of regret it. No, I don't say I regret it, but it was like kind of not worth it, right? And then that's why I realized that ClickFunnels, even though, there's so many competitors out there, it's like ClickFunnels are still, in terms of speed to build, it's still the fastest, it's still the best,